I told you this, Aaron, right before we went live. I think George Pickens is going to be one of the best wide receivers, if not the number one wide receiver from this draft class. When we look 5-10 years down the road, George Pickens is going to be the guy. He doesn't have a lot of tape from, then that's the biggest thing that everyone's talking about. He's only got 1 year of production at Georgia, and everything he did. And when you watch this tape, this guy goes up and gets the ball. He's aggressive. He attacks the ball. His route running is incredible. He's got great speed. I said earlier that Chris Olave is the most complete wide receiver in this draft. George Pickens, I'm not saying is the most complete wide receiver in this draft, but this man, we can write this down. 39 minutes of episode 19, April 15th. George Pickens is going to be the best player from this draft class. He is going to lead his. And you talk about
to take that back.
And you talk about fits. You talk about best fits. This is a guy who's not going to go in the first round. He's going to go in the later rounds. He could end up in a great situation like what DK Metcalf was in when he went to Seattle. Obviously, it's not really working out that great right now, but you get what I'm saying. He could go later enough to where he goes to a great situation, and he's already got the talent. This guy, with more time at Georgia, he would have been a first-round pick, guaranteed top 10 pick.
Talent-wise, I can't argue. Like, talent-wise, the talent is there. He has all the measurables, right? We talk about the things that he's able to do on the football field. The lack of playing time is very concerning. I mean, you play 24 games in 3 years and you barely get 1,200 yards. It just hasn't been what you expect from a quote big time player. He had a torn ACL, so injury concerns obviously an issue. He's had off the field issues, locker room issues at Georgia. These are concerns which make a player with his talent makes you go in the third, fourth round. People tend to be shy away from you. So yeah, could he mature? Maybe, but he's 21. He's a young guy. He's still got a lot to learn. Now you're going into a business where there's no college coach that's going to hold your hand and walk you through life. I worry about the maturity of a player like that, but from a skill set perspective, I think you hit it right on the head. He has the talent and ability to be at that level. I just know too many times we've seen in the NFL that you pay a guy who's immature and it just never works out. So I wonder about that. Hopefully he goes to a locker room that has strong leadership, somebody to take him under his wing. But from a skill set wise, I mean, you can't really argue the fact that he has the talent.
You may laugh at me for this one, and I'm just throwing stuff at walls to see if something's gonna stick. T. Higgins, fair comparison?
From what standpoint?
I don't know. I just see T. Higgins when I watch this guy.
Ability-wise,
I mean, his draft projection is where
Higgins
sort of was.
T. Higgins produced his final year as a junior as much as Pickens did his whole college career.
So I'll say two things on that. With the T. Higgins comparison from Vinny, I don't know if he's as natural a wide receiver as T. Higgins is. He can do some of those things like high point the ball. He can get some separation out of breaks that you really like that T. Higgins can do. And then to what you said a couple times now, Aaron, with the production, when it comes to wide receivers, part of me, while we look at it, I try not to put way too much stock into it because George Pickens, the year that he was playing more often than not, that was the year they were rotating quarterbacks. There was Eason in there. There was Stetson in there. Like they had so many different trigger men behind the line of scrimmage that it just kind of changed some things up. Now, where you want to see a guy as a wide receiver who makes their quarterback sometimes, that could have been something we could have used to uplift him instead of taking the production and pushing it down. But so like I see what you're saying because it does matter, but I don't like to put too much stock in their production because the situations sometimes are just so completely different.
Let's be honest, though. Let's be honest. He plays in the SEC. I don't care who your quarterback is. You got one of the better quarterbacks in the country in the SEC. No matter how you look at it, you're getting the best players. You should be able to produce. That to me, that's not even. I mean, I don't care. I don't care if it was Vinny Milani behind center.
Hey.
If Georgia recruited you to come play quarterback and you're behind center and you're getting a starting job, you should be able to produce more than 400 yards as a supposedly top wide receiver.
I mean, Kirby Smart, I'm looking to get my master's. Maybe I go to Georgia. You recruit me. I can be a nice little long snapper, you know? I could do that.
Stop. Everybody loves that one clip of Pickens when he like runs up and shoves the DB like he's this physical player. He's not. This dude's tall and lanky, and if you get a guy, you put Jalen Ramsey, I'm not, Jalen Ramsey does this to a lot of receivers, but you match up Jalen Ramsey with George Pickens. Jalen Ramsey's going to abuse George Pickens. Physically, he's just going to beat him up, and then probably mentally too, because George, 6'3" and 200 pounds. That is a very small, like thin frame. Like he doesn't have the strength to get off of coverage consistently. He wins because of his height, and he kind of bodies people out. But I wonder if that translates really, really well to the NFL. This is the kind of stuff that's hard to gauge because the measurables are there, but does he need to put on weight? Because T. Higgins is almost 220, right? And T. Higgins is a very, very physical receiver, whereas Pickens is 200 and not as physical. So I don't know. Again, I like him, but there are some red flags that would keep me as an organization. I'm probably looking at him in the draft like we've done sometimes in fantasy drafts. His name's there, and you're like, man, that could be a good player. I want to take him, but I know this guy over here. I know what he's going to give me. I'm going to go there. So that's what I see happening to him in this draft.